Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another edition of Where I Went Wrong. And in this edition of Where I Went Wrong, I'll be doing Where I Went Wrong, UFC Austin, or you could say UFC Fight Night, Kattar versus Emmett. But yeah, with this card, I don't feel like I really went wrong in any particular outside maybe the Wells McGee pick. But obviously I said like that was low confidence. I don't like Wells' style. It was a dog pick at the time I made it. And the dog was a good pick, but obviously the odds shift to like favored McGee. And I like the pattern with it, but yeah, that might be the only one. Other ones I can't really say, oh, this was this and that was that, or anything that would greatly make me say, oh, this should have been this or that should have been that, or I could have seen this, I could have seen that. Especially with the women's fight, where it was like kind of bad decision in the Paula versus what's her name fight, and then yeah, some low things. But before I get into the video, the Discord is still up and running. If you want to do the payment part, $50 for lifetime. That's lifetime. Like this not me saying, oh, $50 a month or $50 a year, $50 for lifetime for the first 100. And like obviously, some people say, oh, well, you're not this, you're not that, or you haven't shown this, or you haven't shown that. Obviously, that's why it's $50 for lifetime for the first 100. These people are getting, it's an investment process. It's an investment. But then once you get in, you're in for lifetime. It's obviously going to be, well, not even obviously, because I don't even know, but there's much, much more to it that's going to come along with that as time. Like you're not only just investing in my predictions or my bets or this and that, you're investing in me. And there's much more to me than this, the best. But that's all y'all can see. Like people to see what they see in front of them. Like, all he does is predict. All he does is talk. But I can tell you that I'm like 100 times more worth than whatever you think I'm worth. Even you got high expectations for my work, I'm 100 times worth that. But it is any point. It's beside the point. Still of a deal. $50 for a lifetime. It's an investment. It's a trust. But if you want to get into that, get into a score, the payment side or the premium side, $50 for lifetime for the first 100. It's like still a lot of slots open with like 17, 12, 13 people have joined. And then the other part of that is a free Discord for people that's like, I don't know, tight pockets, or I don't know, the people that just feel some type of way about something. And I still probably drop some free predictions on there, free bets on there as well. So, and that's a free section. So you want to join in that, the Discord, the link will be down there. And like I said, it's all the same Discord. You just can't get the premium channels. But I still will drop some free plays, free picks in other sections. So the link will be down in the description. If you interested, join. If you want to pay something, pay something. If not, you don't have to. Like I said, you could just join and just be in a Discord right with everybody else, but you just don't see the premium section. Like, and this put like what 10% of the Discord is premium, the rest is like open to everybody. So if you want to join that, it's very much open, and the link will be in the description. Join the agency, join my Discord, and get in there. But yeah, so for the card, I went 8 of 13. I went 8 and 5. So let me do the math: 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I went, yeah, 8 of 5. I mean, 8 and 5, 8 of 13. Solid enough. I don't really feel like I went gravely wrong anywhere. So I guess what the first fight was, Dawkins versus Dolizé. Obviously, yeah, I don't feel like it went, the prediction was all that bad, but obviously the fight went completely left. Dolizé just straight out destroyed Dawkins. I feel like you could tell a lot about Dawkins, could tell a little bit about Dolizé in that fight. But as far as prior hand, it's not like Dolizé had looked exceptionally phenomenal in any single fight. I think his only stoppage prior to that was his first debut over Kadis and Bragimov, who was a bum. I'm just flat out say he a bum, sloppy fighter, no self-awareness of where time is or this energy expenditure. And he caught him with a knee that he really didn't even set up all that well. He just threw it and happened. Was him just happened to fall into it. And outside that, he looked stiff. And then I felt that the move to middleweight wasn't the right move. I feel like he wasn't all that technical, all that smoothed out, and was looked very stiff on the feet. And in the striking department, I feel like he had the power, had the skills, but I feel like light heavyweight would have been a better weight class where you're not worrying about trying to cut down the middleweight, and you just focus on getting your skills better. And you probably, I mean, you could quickly rise up the light heavyweight division, but it's not like you had to, oh, I'm going to fight, and like I'm trying to get that quick to title. You can say, oh, I could take a little side route, fights, move laterally a little bit. I'm not saying it's like lightweight division where you could had to take 20 fights just to get a title shot, but you could maybe take 3 years if you feel like you need it to get to a title shot and like get like 6, 7 wins, fight winning streak. And even like I say, might suffer some little loss along the way, and give yourself even more time to build. But I feel like light heavyweight would have been better for him around skills. But obviously, I don't know. He looked good in the last. I mean, looked good out there and got the win. But prior to that, he didn't look all that great. And I feel like middleweight didn't help him. I just feel like Dawkins was the more natural middleweight. Had wins there. I feel like he could at least address the grappling department and be fresher out there. And I feel like Dolizé had a little bit of cardio issue. And then also, one of his last, I don't know if that's his last fight, but Staropoli fight, he didn't look all that great. He gave like 3 takedowns to Staropoli, or a welterweight who definitely was an undersized middleweight. a former welterweight who came up to middleweight and was undersized, gave him like 3 takedowns. Some struggled with him in that fight, and I just feel like Dawkins had a decent frame and not also bit into the little potential that he showed in the little glimpse against Holland. Even though it was a headbutt in there, he was looking good against Holland. Was actually out striking him for a little bit that was happening. Headbutt obviously led to the submission that later turned to a no contest fight. But yeah, I was impressed with a little bit I saw from him. I was looking to grow, but clearly some things. I feel like it's a combination. I feel like Dawkins showing like some little bit of disappointment, but Delize showing improvements. But I can't really say. I guess with Dawkins, I don't know. I don't know. I'm still very much debating on that one, but I'm gonna say I'm not gonna get too much into this stuff. Make this a very short video, but I just feel like Dawkins kind of showing that choke in him. Both those brothers kind of showing some choke in him, and I guess you could address that grappling, or that grappling not as big of a factor. Then, are you a bigger, stronger person? You could bully them around. I definitely feel like there's a wrestling that will bully him around. I feel like wrestling's a weakness is against a solid wrestler like what Hall did to him. I feel like, durability wise, still some questions to him. But Delize, I still need to see him more. I definitely feel like, obviously you put him there with a guy who can with grappling deficiencies, or I feel like you beat him. Or I feel like if you put him there with another grappler, like in that case, like you could pick him in those matches. But going there with a striker with decent takedown defense or a well-rounded fighter, I still will likely pick against him. But that's all I'm gonna say. I don't feel like it was necessarily a bad pick because it's not like the stuff that he showed out there. Showed in a little bit glimpse, maybe some other fights, but not to that degree. It was a big shift. Like it hadn't shown. That was one of those cases where it was not fully shown until then. But I guess maybe the confidence in Dawkins could have been shifted a little bit. But nonetheless, I still have, from what I've seen from Delize, I was out there. It wasn't really pointing to that, so I can't really say, oh, that was a bad pick or was something go wrong about that. It's the game. Like people get better, not gonna come out there the same. But it's not like he had a track record of fights that led up to say, oh, this is going to be that. They didn't really show that. But anywho, the next fight we had Maria Oliveira versus Gloria DePaula, and I picked Gloria DePaula here, but with this one, I think the issue with this was I knew Gloria DePaula had a limited output. I feel like she still clearly won the fight, but it wasn't a robbery necessarily. Maria Oliveira just won by activity, even though it wasn't landing. Judges be on BS a lot of times, so it is one of those cases judges be on BS. So I ain't gonna lose no sleep on it. Ain't no bad pick. It's a loss at the end of the day, but who really cares? That's all. Who really cares? I don't. It was a poor decision, but it's something like one expected factor when you look at Gloria DePaula. She don't really steal the fight as much. Like she really don't dig in as much as she needs to eliminate the outcome. And when you're not really digging in, somebody could win by throwing confetti. They just out there throwing stuff. They ain't no substance to it, but they're active, whether it's landed or not. And that leaves the judge to say, oh, they won. And she did get like a takedown in the third round, but outside that, most fights she wasn't really doing nothing of substance. And Gloria DePaula was clearly being the more substance fighter and really controlling the fight and landing harder shots and actual shots, whereas Maria Oliveira was just throwing confetti. That's what she was doing. But BS, like I said, I ain't losing no sleep over that fight. And going into even in Belbita fight, I felt like in the last fight for Gloria DePaula, I felt like Belbita going that fight would win her just by simply being more active. And I feel like she did actually be more active, but the judges saw the substance in Gloria DePaula that time, but this time they didn't. So it's always gonna be an issue with her, that somebody that's just off activity could beat her because she's not digging in and taking away that option where she really still in the fight. She really sticking her step, digging down in her boots and making something happen and really putting that extra oomph on her shots and putting that extra activity on it. So nobody even worried about that little confetti her opponent's throwing. Really doing some real stinging shots and there's no debate for it. But even then, people still get robbed when they're doing it, but less likely. But yeah, I ain't losing no sleep over that pick. The next one was I believe McGee versus Jeremiah Wells. Now, kind of bad. Well, definitely bad pick, but I know I was low confident. I know I was reaching with that one, but I still don't like Wells. And it's gonna be another case where oh, you did this, you were wrong here, you were wrong there. But was I it still really ain't say much, to be honest. Wells still was heavy-handed fighter. Ain't gonna say he's super technical or anything like that. I mean, he set it up well. It was a decent setup to the shot. It wasn't like he just do some sloppy stuff out there. But still, again, first round knockout for a guy that's explosive in his heart and, got knockout power. I mean, he got grappling well. Obviously we saw that, but it's not, it would have been more, what I'm trying to say is he didn't prove me nothing that I didn't already know was possible or was within the realms of possibility or stuff. It's not like he went out there and went out to show some more clean boxing out there, like just popping the jab and slipping McGee, making McGee look like he putting McGee in the Matrix or nothing like that. It's not like he went out there and went out there this when a competent grappler, competent fighter like McGee, and went out there and out wrestled him for several rounds. He knocked him out. That's like what was suspected, maybe knockout. Yeah, really, it was like a knockout, or maybe just land big shots early and then it's kind of coasting later rounds. That's pretty much it. So nothing that I didn't expect. So again, it's like, well, I'm still pretty much thinking the same thing about him. Maybe not gonna pick no older fighters against him. You know, he's like kind of older fighter himself, 35. So like, but McGee like 37. Like, still think very much the same things about him. I'm not saying like, oh, I was proved so wrong or so this. Like, very much in the realm of possibility. Like, very much. Like, matter of fact, if he was gonna win, it's like the two options that you thought he could win. He did one of the two options. Like, so either put him away with some power, or landing power on him early, or landing power in general, and it just kind of coasting and not like. So it was like no super smart decision. It was no grappling showcase or anything like that. It was a knockout. So yeah, I feel like somebody could, you know, avoid the big shots, be more defensively sound and minded, and land shots on him and extend them. Still very much could see the case to beat him, or maybe just a better grappler, just a better fighter in general. But like I said, still a lot to prove. Good win for him, great win for him. Good luck to him in his career and all, but still very much seeing a lot of stuff like I have not seen from him that will allow me to get behind him. But hey, there's a lot of matches he can win. Definitely with the skill set he has, a lot of matches he can win. Could he make it to the top? Possibly. Well, nah, I want to say possibly. I don't see him making the top, but he can make his way up a little decent, little bit. But I feel like at some level he's gonna run into a real hard wall. But yeah. Then another fight was the Natalia Silva, Jasmine Jasudavicius fight, and with this one, I saw some of it, but like all it was really reached like Natalia Silva hadn't fought in several years, and obviously like these younger fighters, they could evolve in such a short time. Like you don't see them fight all the time, but they working the whole time and they come out and look better. And I saw that some of the stuff that could happen, but I feel like it's all very much reached because I had not seen it happen. You know, I definitely saw her landing that head kick like little counters, like when with the Vickers coming in and stuff. I could feel like the thing I could have expected, like where I was kind of like leaning to her a little bit prior, like where I could have leaned to her. I'd never leaned to her, but like I never leaned to Natalia Silva. Is what I'm saying. I was like, when I look at Jasmine Jasudavicius, like, you know, her frame might look like she's a taller woman that's a good striker or a decent enough striker, and she was that height and reach against these shorter women, and then she got little tricky little trips. But in reality, when I started watching, I said her striking ain't all that good. And she really more of a grappler at this level. But anywho, this is becoming a ramble. But to look at how I could look at it, for me to look at back at how I was looking at it, if I was to lean to Natalia Silva, was that Jasmine Jasudavicius really, for the most part, kind of ends up low-key being like a low-level grappler type fighter. And everybody on paper leaning Natalia Silva has the better grappling. Striking-wise, Jasmine Jasudavicius, like, that's kind of area, like, so it would seem like Jasmine Jasudavicius was winning a lot of fights actually low-key, well, high-key due to grappling, versus then she's going in with a better grappling. The better grappling cancels out, or it favors Natalia Silva. And then the openings on the feet, Natalia Silva lands some shots, and she could out-grapple her. Now, that could be the case, and that kind of ended up being the case. But just really trying to look back on Natalia Silva, where I was trying to delve into her, all I really saw was IG pictures of her promos and stuff that she's selling, and a couple of little videos of her kicking, like really no real in-depth stuff. Like, and her most recent fight was against the best competition, so like it was enough for me to lean to her. So like I was trying to pick her, I was looking at her, but like I gotta go with the more active woman who's been, you know, doing relatively decent in the UFC. Was she like 2-0 or something in the UFC, and for some decent enough fighters. But yeah, it's just a matter of was enough really for me out there. And to really lean to her, everything was a bit of a reach pick for Natalia. So I just kind of saw this went to with the fighter who had been showing me something, and that was Jasmine Jasudavicius. But yeah, I just felt like it was enough for me out there. That's all I felt with that one. So I can't say it was like this and that, but now I clearly got a little bit more tape on Natalia Silva for future reference. I got more tape on Jasmine Jasudavicius for more future thing, but can't really say, well, what I had, I feel like I made the best pick I could. So like that's more so not saying, oh my gosh, I have no fault or anything, but it's like I can't I can say in the future situations with similar outcome like this, maybe betting wise, I feel like it's decent enough to throw some coins on. But as far as like prediction wise, like I would likely come to the same predictions. Like not something that I could really revise to make an adjustment, or I would feel like a necessarily adjustment to make future going. So that's what I'm saying. And adjustment wise, there's nothing I really feel with this pick or similar picks in the future, I can make adjustments on in the future, unless I'm paying some money on the side. Like, hey, can I get some private tape with you training? Can I get some of this? Like, can I get that? You got OnlyFans? I could dish some money to you. Give me some more tape on. I can't really say that's the case. But yeah, then the main event, Calvin Kattar versus Josh Emmett. Very close fight. Could have went either way. It really could have went either way. So it is what it is. It could have went either way. I feel in my opinion, Kattar won pretty clearly. Other people feel it didn't go that way. I like the height and reach of Kattar. I like his reach and performance. But also kind of looking at that, I knew that Emmett was tough and a dog in that way. I feel like Kattar could continually touch Emmett. I like his height, like his reach, like his boxing. But like he put Emmett away. But Emmett obviously took the damage. I feel like Kattar kind of worked behind the jab a little more than he should have, maybe. Maybe should do some more power shots in there and could potentially put the fight away and take it away from the judges. But it is what it is. Close fight. It could have went either way. But so I don't feel like it was something like, oh my gosh, I made such a great mistake. I don't feel like it's even a great mistake saying, oh, I picked Kattar to win by stoppage. Very much if he would have put it together some different way, could end that way. And I kind of more so just take that as far as method and just leave it like you just based off picking a fighter way. The fighter who's on the hotter right now, the fighter with the height, the reach, and has statistically and skillfully shown the better boxing. But yeah, Emmett was able to pull it out though. Very close fight. Could have went either way, but hey, it is what it is. The nature of the game. Good fight from both guys. I don't think either guy take a step back necessarily. Emmett gets the push and will likely get the next title shot if Volkanovski doesn't choose to try to get a super fight a weight class above. But yeah, good performance from both guys. It is one of those cases where like it just went another way in a close matchup. It could have went another way. So it's not like say, oh, I made a mistake here. I missed something. I don't feel like I really missed anything with the one. It was just a case of tight matchup, tight decision, just went the other way. So that's the video. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and again, went 8-5 or 8 of 13, and it's gonna look to take this and again study and go to the next one. And that's the video. Peace.